Hello, and welcome to our coverage of Love is Blind, Season 10. I'm Asia, and we are here to talk about the reunion, ladies and gentlemen. So much to dive into. This was a reunion that definitely gave us a lot of content compared to previous reunions. I'm very excited to see what everyone's thoughts are. I'm not alone. So, first up, we have someone who told me yesterday they were going on a work trip, but then I looked at their Instagram and they were actually at the Dancing with the Stars tour. Mary, what do you have to say for yourself?
Look, Jason and Mari knew, and really, they probably should have been girls and told you exactly where I was. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just not good at being direct when it comes to you. I don't know.
That's wow. Okay. I don't know how to sit with that information, but we'll proceed. I guess Jason doesn't think that he owes me that explanation or that whatever. We haven't been podcasting together for years or anything like that. Jason.
I mean, Asia, we are great friends. Is it my duty, my job to text you all your friends' whereabouts, wherever they may be? Were you expecting Mary to be with you at that time and point, and texting me talking about, I don't know where Mary is. I wish you knew where Mary is. Did I know where Mary was? Yeah, I did. Did I tell you? No, I didn't. But I mean, I don't think that's my responsibility, right?
Okay.
I mean, sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings or my actions hurt your feelings, Asia. Okay? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if you're hurt. Okay,
I'm sorry.
great.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, Jason, I know that you had a song prepared. Did you want to perform that at the beginning, or did you want to wait until the end?
I think it's a good middle section song.
Okay.
And I won't prepare anybody. I'll just blaze into it.
Okay. We'll just slowly clear out.
Right. Yes.
And then we'll put you in the middle of
everybody bring down their lights individually where you are, and then I'll start rocking out with my guest co song person.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bop.
Yeah.
Say that.
Well, for this season, right? It's just been the three of us. We had, our guest Rachel Lamont, but I thought it'd be great for the reunion if we brought back all of our previous guests from a lifetime of Love is Blind. Just kidding. We only have Mari. Mari, thank you for representing all previous guests.
Of course, the other previous guests couldn't be here because they are not looking after children. And we're not contractually begged to be here after not being here for years and years and years. So I finally just said, I'll come back. I'll represent so that they'll leave us alone. I'm so glad to be here with you guys.
What was the Speed household like when it was like, I want to go? She's like, I ain't going. F them. Like,
I think it was just like Cameron's like, I'll take one for the team, so they'll leave us alone.
If we do this now, we won't be called for at least another 2 or 3 years.
And I love how you said the Speed household.
That's right.
Definitely the Hamilton household.
No. It's the Speed
Hamilton.
Cameron Speed.
We know who the alpha is in that relationship.
Look, I stand by. You should take the more fun name, and Speed's a much cooler name.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Barnett are never picking up that phone call. They have too much pride, self-respect to ever pick up that phone call. I don't know what do you think the beef is there? What is it? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it came out in like a podcast a while ago, but it seemed like it was more so Amber and Barnett and Cameron and Lauren that they had an issue with how the show handled things after the fact in terms of like support and it was out in a podcast. I know we talked about it a couple seasons ago, and then everyone's like, "Where's the podcast?" And I posted the link in our Facebook group, so if you have the archives, right? Because I didn't even listen to the podcast.
It was like, you say, how much you gonna give me to show up? I can forgive any beef. Give me however much money to show up here.
They said we need out their pockets for that him.
Right? They're like, we have this really cool thing where we really want all the married couples at a table. And if we don't have a married couple from season 1, it'll look really bad. So they got one person.
And you know what? My heart did give a little flutter when I first saw Cameron, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Oh no, what happened? Like, not our babies.
I
I
keep up with them heavy on. Yeah, no, I keep up with them heavy. I knew that. I was like, they're solid.
I immediately knew. I was like, I said, "Oh, Cam's taking one for the team."
Yeah,
immediately. Exactly. I knew it. I was like,
I thought they're going to be like, on season 4 of Perfect Match, Cameron's going to be on Perfect Match. Everybody, here's the announcement.
No one would support that. No. But yes, before we dive into all the details of the reunion, make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed, where you can get all of our podcasts about Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, The Ultimatum Queer Love, Perfect Match, now Age of Attraction. So make sure you go subscribe. Also subscribe to the RHAP YouTube channel so you can see our lovely faces, as well as all the pictures of these people. I know there's a lot of shows out there, a lot of names. So you need those supporting pictures to know who we're talking about and put some names to faces. I know we're at the reunion, but still, there's a lot of names to juggle out there. My mom specifically still needs the pictures.
We do it for Mama Welch every show. We do it.
Exactly.
That's why I put up the pictures.
On Married at First Sight, she's like, "Oh, why didn't you have up the pictures? You forgot." So that's why we even started implementing it. All right. There was a lot to unpack here. We started out with the fact that the audience is filled with past Love is Blind contestants. They said 150, which there was this graphic that was created that showed there's been 304 participants. So I am curious, where did they make the call on who could come and who couldn't? Because there were +1s there as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably in the back of the audience where we didn't see were all the pod people that did not make connections and get out of the pods. I'm sure they were in the back. And then toward the front, we had more people that we would know. I definitely was doing like a, when they would flash a certain people, I'd be like, okay, now who is that? Have they had too much work done for me to tell who is who here? I definitely was confused at some points, but I think I clocked most everybody.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I noticed, there was no one that I noticed from season 2.
Oh man. I think Alexa was
there from season 2, right?
Say that again.
I said, are there any couples still married from season 2?
No.
But Alexa was there.
Alexa was there. So that would be like, I'm surprised. Well, Danielle and Nick had a very famous falling out with Love is Blind, so not surprised they're not there. Who else was that? Jared and Ayana, didn't see either one of them.
I feel like this would have been Ayana or
Alexa was on season 3 though.
Oh,
really?
Oh,
why did I think 2? Okay.
Gee.
So yeah, maybe we did strike out from season 2.
They said there was no DD, there was no
Sal and Mal,
Shake, obviously. Sal, Mal.
Yeah, I feel like Ayana or Deep D or Natalie would have been like the people I would have expected to see.
Oh,
if anyone.
Shane.
I think Shane probably feels done dirty by the show, so I'm not surprised he did not show up.
He's on a very healing journey right now. I don't know if you've seen him lately, but he's been sober for a while, and he's been very open about how he was using on the show and how and even Perfect Match, and that now he's been doing some before and after transformation type videos because he's really fit now, seems very healthy. And so it seems more so he is reflecting on it as his own choices. I don't know if necessarily he's blaming the show or not.
Right, but I could definitely see it not being an experience he wants to look back on and revel in. So that makes sense he would show up. But yeah, I'm Natalie and Deep D have a Love is Blind
podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they weren't there. So I don't know.
They said that's what I'm okay. Season 2 was but
maybe I wonder if Love is Blind's no, we have our podcast. It's What's the Reality with AD, and we're not welcoming any other podcast competition here. So I wonder if that's part of it. But yeah, that is odd that no one from season 2 popped up. I mean, listen, season 2 is I think widely considered to be the worst season of Love is Blind. So maybe they was we don't want to.
Worst in what way? Because I actually feel like that was a really entertaining season.
Oh, I thought
It was
terrible season.
entertaining.
was
I
terrible.
feel like I'm surprised you're saying,
But you just literally named all these people. It's obviously memorable. They're
like, for me, yeah.
Name
if I
who's
had
on
to-
season 7.
I think if I had
We
to
have to
name
give me a
cast
se- a
of
city
shows,
for
I think
that.
I could name season 1, season 2, and then whatever is the most recent, but only for like the next couple weeks, and then I'll forget
Yes.
everyone on this
Yes.
season.
When we cancel, when we hang up on this call, the deterioration will start. Within a month, I will forget most of these people that were on this stage. Yeah.
Well, now I'm
I
just
think season
determined to
2
prove you wrong. I'm just gonna every day. I'm gonna be like, okay, it was Dick
pop quiz.
Christine.
Yeah,
Amber
you're gonna
Jordan.
you're gonna constantly send me texts about like, hey, remember Devontae? Remember Devo?
A year from now, here's what I'll remember from this season. I will remember Vic and Christine, but not their names. But I will remember that they existed. And I will remember Alex, and I will remember Chris.
Yeah, we'll remember the really bad times.
And that's probably it.
In a month, if you ask me who Mike and Emma were, I'll be like, who? What now? Like, I barely remembered them before they got on the reunion. I was like, oh yeah, them.
I thought it was so interesting that so they had certain people at the tables. They had the married couples at the tables first. Then they had like a row of tables for like little pockets of people. This is where we saw like Tyler and Kia, and then like Alexa and all those other people. And then in the back row, they had like analogous singles, right? A YouTuber caught that, in the Joey and what's her name, Sarah segment. Right over Sarah's shoulder was her ex. Like, right.
Ben.
Oh yeah, they called that out. Yeah, they called that out. AD called out. He's like, hey Ben, what's up?
Yeah,
like, that was so humiliating. Like, why would you sign up for that?
No,
I didn't even realize it was him until they like.
Literally, I get on Instagram and Ben's like, so there's more to see than that moment. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You are not about to make a series. And he didn't talk about it. It was as if to come, you will find out more about that moment and how I felt and how I feel. And it was just like,
we don't care.
Nobody cares.
I barely remember their relationship.
Here's my problem with those people is like when they showed Joey and Sarah together, here's what my brain said. It went, oh, they got back together? Because they were the couple on the show. I forgot they weren't their original partners.
Well, it doesn't help that Sarah and I think her name was Monica, like, don't
Monica,
look too dissimilar.
Like, they have completely different colored hair, but other than that,
come on.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, what?
I just didn't remember that Sarah and Monica were not the same person. Like, I thought that was one person, and that Joey was with her, and then broke up, and.
Yeah.
Nope. I was thinking, so you're a lying liar who lies, because I remember the whole crutch that
they weren't together
was that they weren't together and that they were just friends and da 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 da. And then now all of a sudden,
well, she goes, it's been a great year, and he's like, well, we've been together for 8 months. Sarah,
clock it.
I don't know if you forgot that.
It's like the timelines. Goodness, no one can get timelines right on this season. It's just only fitting. But I will say it was really nice to see certain people. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. Like they tried to give some people some shout outs. You had the girls with the eye drops.
Oh my god, I was so corny. Oh, it's like please stop. Like, Jess with the EpiPen. I was like, no, come on.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that one.
Dave, sorry your sister couldn't be at this reunion either.
I could not believe some of the people that dared to re-show their face again. Tyler was there. Like, really? You've not been shamed enough to never come back to these hallowed halls? I was like,
that's like
which Tyler? There's been like
Tyler with the kids, Tyler with the multiple kids that he didn't tell anybody about.
He was there. He posted online about it. He didn't get any like screen time, but he posted that he was. Wait, how'd you know he was there, Jason?
I saw him in the audience. I was like, oh my God, this guy.
Jason's out here freeze framing.
I was not freeze framing.
It took him 3 hours to get through the reunion because he was pausing on every audience shot.
I was doing facial recognition on the phone. Like, I know that's somebody. Who is that? Is that a participant or is that a friend of? Let me figure that out.
That's how I was. I was like, vague faces, vague faces. Oh, Cam, vague faces, vague faces.
Carlton to show up. That was
Bruh,
wild.
That was
Carlton and
and
Diamond being like 5 feet apart. I was like, okay, like
the
we're at
cowboy
least
hat.
able to be in the same space together at this point.
Yeah, that would be like Chris and Alex and Devontae showing their face at the season 20 reunion.
It's
Like,
gonna
why are you
it's gonna
here?
happen next reunion. They're gonna be bundled up together in a little trio in the audience. I'm clocking. I'm telling you.
They're like, we actually bought a compound together.
You know, you're joking, but I don't think you even that much joking.
But we did get to see that they did a shout out all the married couples. So we had Brett and Tiffany, Zach and Bliss, Chelsea Kwame, Amy Johnny, Daniel Taylor, Garrett Taylor, Cameron and Lauren. And then we also know Amber and Barnett are still married. And I thought I found this graphic that it says that 304 participants have done Love is Blind through 10 seasons. And then it shows everybody who's not engaged. It does the whole breakdown. At the end, it says 12 people are still married. And which is really odd because based on the math I just did, that was like 14 or 16, right? So I don't know where this number is coming from. So just in case you've seen this graphic, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of confusing, but
yeah,
crazy to think that we've gotten through all of this.
Yeah. And even I saw this graphic on a TikTok with Wells Adams from The Bachelor, and he was comparing Love is Blind to Bachelor in Paradise. He's like, Love is Blind is not a relationship show. He's like, the goal is not for them to stay together. The goal is for people to break up at the altar. He's like, that's where the heart of the show is. That's where the entertainment is. He's like, we're Bachelor in Paradise. We want you to get together. We want you to stay married. We want the new host, what's his name? I can't even think. Jesse. We want Jesse to officiate your wedding. And so he was trying to sell that like Bachelor in Paradise is more of a relationship show than Love is Blind.
No.
I think it's a stretch.
I know. I was like,
it kind of is. Honestly.
How many marriages have come out of that show?
There's actually a lot.
A decent amount.
How many
the early seasons
from the show? Like
yes, that originated
from
on
that
Bachelor in Paradise. There are it's a handful.
Like I watched that show for its first, I don't know, 5 or 6 seasons, and then I kind of fell off because it got to a point where I felt like everybody was breaking up post show.
Yeah, the later seasons have definitely been like breaking up, but it was like not better. No, it was like season 4. It was either season 4 or 5 where like legit 4 couples got married from that season.
I think that was
still together
4 or 5. Yeah, AI says 11 people, 11 couples have like originated on Bachelor in Paradise. So same.
I love following those couples. Shout out to Kenny and Mari. I didn't think they were gonna make it, and they was on the floor the other day, like literally the show, the floor together with like 2 kids. So good for them.
That you meant the actual floor.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, let me clear that up. Let me clear it up.
Like, why were they on the floor?
Show, the floor? Yeah, they did not make it far. No, not at all. But it was nice to see them. So I don't know. Wells is stretching because he wants to promote his product, but I've been a huge Bachelor in Paradise fan since its inception, and I mean, but I think the biggest stretch is comparing the two. It's apples to oranges. It's not the same thing. The better thing to compare Bachelor in Paradise to would be Love Island, because they see each other, they get to pick, they get to maneuver around. Comparing it to Love is Blind is just stupid.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive into these couples. And so the first couple that they went into, or they unpacked, was Vic and Christine. And as a surprise to no one, they are still together.
They even asked the question. They're just like, so you're still married, obviously. We're not even gonna like bother asking you, are you still married? How's it going?
So one interesting thing that did come out after the reunion was that they were asked, were they ever considered to go to Mexico? And they said they were in the first batch of people considered to go. And then the decision was changed to, no, we're going to go send you to Malibu because there wasn't as much crossover between them and other couples, which we have heard that part before.
Yeah, I think they said that they were each other's number ones like very early on in the pod. So they just had fewer interactions with other men and women. So they knew there wouldn't be that much drama.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We did find out that she lived in Cleveland and he lived in Columbus, so they ended up moving to Columbus. Were they implying that they did that during the experiment too?
I didn't think so.
I don't think so. At first, I thought that's what they meant, but then they were talking about like living together, and so I think that was just after. I think
So
they were
it
basically trying to say like one of your only things that was of any conflict was like, where are you going to live? And then it was like, oh yeah, we moved to Columbus at the end.
where were the apartments located?
Well, that's what they were not in the because what happened.
I
Oh,
know
the
they
other
weren't.
thing from that interview was they had decided like, oh, if we're not going to be a part of the couples that are officially followed, we're just going to elope. And they said that production was like, no, wait, we'll make it work. And so then they said, then they were able to follow our journey and we were able to have the wedding.
Oh, so they confirmed that they were not gonna be officially followed then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so that
And then they
thank you,
changed
because
their
they try to be
mind.
like, oh yeah, we sent you on Malibu because we just had so many. Like to me, they try to come off like we had always initially we're gonna follow you guys. We just had so
Yeah.
many. We just did. And I was like, no, bullshit. Like you could tell that it felt like an add-on. I was just trying to figure out when they had integrated them. And like you had pointed out, like I had told you, once they were at the dress fittings, I was like, okay, so they did integrate them early enough so that they can get away with this, like, oh, we were following them. But that still doesn't make sense with the editing, because I still think they were under edited.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if once Chris and Jess broke up, they were like, all right, now we have a space to bring Vic and Christine in. We'll back shoot some of their segments and pretend like we had this. But it feels like the Malibu trip is always every season's like consolation prize. Like, hey, congratulations, you got together in the pods, but you're not interesting enough to follow. So we're gonna go ahead and give you a Malibu trip that's like right down the road where we're shooting this. But that's great. But then once Chris and Jess left, they're just like, okay, let's bring in Vic and Christine. We need a definite happy love story. Like they saw all the other couples are like, we're not sure if anything else is going to end happily. So we need a happy story. Let's bring Vic and Christine in.
How soon was Jess and Chris's breakup?
It was like when they got back from Mexico, that's when he spent his 2 days apart. And then they had that conversation. It was very quickly.
Yeah. It was before the dress fittings. So that I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the point where like, okay, yeah, let's officially bring Vic and Christine in as one of our couples.
That makes sense.
So we also just find out like they've been spending holidays together, and then like, you know, her mom's been visiting. They even he did meet her dad, and she was able to get her feelings out with that whole situation and writing her dad a letter and a book. So things are just great for them as we expected. TurboTax ended up gifting them a trip.
And I'm like, see, Vic and Christine, this is why you were not like from day one part of the show. They're like, hey, we're giving you a honeymoon sponsored by TurboTax. They're just like, great. Like, wow, this is awesome. Like, okay, like that's your level of excitement. Great, awesome. You're just giving a trip and just like, oh man, this is awesome. This is great.
Well, because Christine said, her friend said, girl, why are you going on reality TV? You are not for reality TV.
And they proved it. They hell approved it.
She wears too many socks. That's the only problem.
Listen,
yeah.
Team socks to bed over here. I'm sorry.
No.
Everyone can throw their tomatoes at me. I'm ready for it.
Mari, socks in bed, yes or no?
Oh, I'm a yes.
Yeah, here we
go. I got socks on right now.
Way too hot.
No, I don't want
socks just feel comfy to me on my feet.
Yeah, they're just comfortable.
See, I'm at always socks in the house. Like when I'm roaming around the house, socks are on. In bed, socks off.
I'm a socks and slippers around the house. I don't want my feet to feel dirty at all.
Now, see, I don't like that. If you wear any type of shoe wear inside the house, I don't understand you.
They're slippers.
Slippers are for in the house. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to fall.
Slippers are like for if I got to get the mail, like right outside the door.
No,
like,
that's what your Crocs are for.
What?
No, that's what. Yeah, you have some slides or some flip flops by the door for that. Yeah,
slippers don't go outside.
If you wear slippers, I don't understand your life. I don't get your life. I don't understand.
And this is what we are reduced to with Vic and Christine.
Yeah,
exactly. Good for them. Good for them for being this boring.
Question: when you shoot the ball in the trash, do you yell Kobe, or do you yell Curry? Which one? So anyway, yeah, I'm happy for these two. I'm glad that I'm glad that they have no drama. I appreciate that. So then we hopped over to a more serious segment.
The transition was crazy because it's like
jarring.
Well, let's go over to our other couple that got married. It's like, let me guess what happened here.
Yeah, Amber and Jordan. So we find out because Jordan's just like, well, the marriage lasted 4 months. What else you want to know? Man. Bruh, everything.
I really enjoyed this reunion. I really did.
Yes.
But it really felt like everything we thought was going to happen happened. Like there was nothing too shocking or surprising. But yeah, I thought it was like, okay, everything we expected to be here was here, but I still enjoyed watching it play out.
Yeah, I think what we predicted, obviously, with Amber and Jordan was like it wasn't going to work out. But I think it went a little bit worse than I mean, I guess it's what I imagined, but I didn't expect for it to actually happen. Like they never moved in together. She felt like they were only seeing each other for the weekends. He felt like she wasn't appreciating him and that she was talking to him in a disrespectful way. Turns out they're only 45 minutes from one another, but they made it kind of seem like a trip every time. Like, I don't know. We're in the part of the country. Y'all are all in the general same part of the country. Is a 45-minute drive a lot to you?
I've had a 45-minute commute before. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not, especially for if this is your married partner, your spouse. 45 minutes does not seem like undoable if you really wanted it to work.
I feel like, I don't know. I'm just going to set myself up for it. I think with this couple, and there's one other situation later, I think I have some controversial takes. I think in general, I agree with the stance that Jordan was not ready to be married, and like his priority should not be hanging out with the bros and going to the bars over his wife if he really wanted to be married. And they should have, at the very, very least, move closer together. I mean, I know on paper it's like, you're married, move in together. It's like, yeah, but you also don't really know each other. That's the show. So like, I wouldn't have faulted them for not moving in together, but they should at least be closer. I would think that they should be making that a priority. That's what I'll say in agreement with her. And I agree with her also that like having a child is a big factor and you need to be really sensitive about that. And, probably shouldn't have ended things. The thing I'll agree with him about is he was bringing up a lot of red flags about her personally that, if true and everything he was saying taken at word, like for his, for truth, like I agree that if you're in a relationship where you feel like this is not a like safe, healthy relationship for you to be in, you don't need to just push through because you're married. And that's what it seemed like from him. Now, is it because he truly wasn't ready and he didn't try? Is there that? But like when he was saying we had the same argument multiple times and you did not make any steps to fix it, I can't bank on the fact that you're going to make steps to fix it.
The only part of that,
I'll agree with him on.
Yeah, the only part of that I will push back on, because I definitely think they both have their faults. The part that she had, the point that she made was the fact that he gave it only 4 months without the effort of going through therapy together. Like, I think that is actually trying. I feel like it is unfair of him to expect her to make changes on her own, like with her own knowledge, with her own doing, I guess you could say. But if they had actually gone to counseling and there was that effort made and time for things to change, like, I mean, yes, it was 4 months, but I'm sure he was checked out before that.
Yeah.
Like if it was 6 to 8 months, like you are married. That's the only thing. Is like, yes, if they were dating and you see this unhealthy environment, walk away. But the fact that they were married, she has a daughter, I feel like that takes a different level of effort that he did not give. Like he treated this like, hey, I'm dating somebody. It's not healthy. I can walk away. What's wrong with that?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and exactly. I think it was the level of commitment, right? Because you guys pointed out at the marriage, everybody was shocked that he said yes, you know, and like I think she even said she was shocked that he said yes. So it's like for them, it's kind of what the Mike and Emma situation kind of like. She thought him saying yes meant that he was full on, full into this, into making this marriage work. Da 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 da, and I think he was into making the marriage work in his terms, but his terms are intenable with somebody who has a life that has a kid. So for me, I just think they weren't on the same page as to what they expected from a marriage. Because I kept thinking he keeps telling us that he wants to be close to the bars. He told his family that. I think Amber did know that, but I feel like when she thought that he said yes at the altar, that he was committed. And like Asia said, he may have treated it more like a relationship than like a marriage, because saying no and then like trying to work it out like Brie and Connor did would have made more sense for the two of them. Because the moment you add marriage, there's a whole level of pressure to that. So, and it's a level of pressure that Amber put on it, maybe unrightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Like, because yes, 45 minutes is not that big of a drive, but I don't want to have to spend 45. I don't want to have only see my spouse driving 45 minutes on the weekends. Like she said, I want to see them home with me, and I want us to do the weeks together. And especially like she pointed out, the whole week I'm dealing being a single mom. I am a single mom during the whole week. Then the weekends come and now you want to come and you want to be all goofy and you want me to do whatever and you want us to be a family. I'm tired because I had to do this alone for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I get where Amber's coming from. And I don't fault Jordan for not really understanding what he was getting into. Like he really should have just stuck to his guns about dating somebody, having a kid being his deal breaker. Because even when he goes on to say like, oh, Emma was great, Emma, duh, the kid is always going to be great. It's y'all still broke up because of the circumstances surrounding the child. Like that's what that means. That's what the deal breaker means. It's the circumstances,
especially when you're only seeing Emma like probably once every so often. Like you're not spending quality time with Emma. You're coming around, joking around, watching a movie or two, and then you're putting her to bed and either like, you know, spending the night with Amber and then leaving in the morning. So it's not surprising he wasn't like, no, Emma was great. It's because you weren't there to like, like during the hard times or like, you know, the everyday. You were there once in a while to hang out with her for a minute and then dip out. So when he's like, oh yeah, no, Emma was the problem. Emma was great. It's like, because you didn't give it a chance to be a problem. That's the issue. I don't think they pushed him enough on like, why do you think it was okay for you to sit here and say and almost demand in the wedding episode when he was like, no, she needs to come to me because I need to be in the bars. Like, how does that make sense to you, Jordan? Explain that to us where that makes sense. I know he would only say, what was it? Because that's what I want to do. That's what I want. I don't
remember. Well, and
I thought he didn't have a job.
I don't.
No, he has a job.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I forgot what it was, but it's probably something generic, like account executive or whatever. He has a job.
Yeah, I mean, I think bottom line with him is that he at the very least was not ready to be married to her, potentially just not ready to be married. Because at no point, whether she had a child or not, I don't get the sense that he was planning on just like, oh, moving in together, acting like a married couple, right? And so I think like his behavior of, oh, this relationship isn't going well, I'm going to end it after 4 months, to me speaks to someone who's in a dating relationship, not a marriage. But he never acted like he was in a marriage. They never or they never acted like they were in a marriage. So it's easier to see like why it resulted in the outcome it did when they're not even living together. They're spending nights and maybe weekends together, and they're basically living two separate lives. So I guess like to me that's why the outcome makes sense, was because the things y'all are saying are completely correct if you're in a marriage, and to me they never felt like they were actually in a marriage.
Yeah, I mean, we saw where this was going at the wedding episode. We're just like, all right, he's not gonna be ready for this, and it's gonna crash and burn pretty quickly. And then lo and behold, that's what happened. I just think the onus was on him to try harder. Yes, Amber
account
has
executive.
Yeah.
see some generic that we had no idea what we were talking about. And
I know exactly what an account executive is.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, the onus was on him to try harder. I don't think he wanted to. Amber had a lot of problems. Let's talk
about that. He pointed out that Amber showed up really drunk to a wedding that he was the best man in. She posted screenshots from that wedding of before she even got there. He was like, "Hey, I'm 5 beers in. Like, I don't know if I can make it." I don't know if I can make it, but I'm 5 beers in, and then indicating that he was drunk. And then like once she arrived, he needed her to bring her some like medicine or like some aspirin or something. But she basically was like, we both were drunk is what the screenshot was trying to prove.
I can handle my drunkenness better than you can handle your drunkenness, because your drunkenness was to act a fool at the wedding. My drunkenness was to just keep having a good time like I was. That was my intimation. Like, if you have to, like, I don't know. And it was kind of crazy to be like, yeah, I put you in the car and left you there and went back to go party. It was like,
took your keys.
Yeah, I mean, the way he was like trying to shade her, like the like subtlest way of like, you were trying to drive drunk. Doesn't everybody hate that? Like,
yeah, I think bringing out those details, like, yes, those are definitely things that, like, okay, obviously you both would need to work on. And he's saying in this instance, she needs to work on it more. But at the end of the day, the biggest issue was the fact that they had this level of commitment and weren't working towards, but putting in the effort to actually resolve it. Because the thing that makes her storm off stage was like, when he broke up with her, he did not say bye to Emma. And she had to, Emma, her daughter, not Mike's Emma. She had to, she was like, she had to be strong for Emma. Emma wanted to put together a memory box so that he could come back. So she's like going through, I'm having to explain this breakup to my daughter. And that's not something, if you knew that this was something that could be a potential, why did you even say yes in the first place? Because now she not only having to grieve the relationship herself, but walk her daughter through it.
But there's also some onus on Amber there to be like, yeah, but you also decided to bring a virtual stranger into your daughter's life, barely introduce Jordan to Emma, and now expect Jordan to be this like stepfather that he never was, and to really care about Emma's things and feelings. And Jordan's just like, well, I didn't know what to do, so I just did nothing. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's the level of maturity that you're dealing with. But I feel like we all were in this eyes open. I think we all knew that Jordan was not that guy. Jordan is kind of a schlubby guy who's like,
right, but that doesn't mean that Jordan gets away with it.
No, not at all. But also, like, they're both at fault here. Like, I think they both were just ignoring red flags that were right in front of them. So I don't think you can like have Amber be this like, you know, oh, my daughter, when you kind of put yourself and your daughter in this predicament by, I don't know, like, not, number one, making sure Jordan and Emma were in any way kind of bonded before the wedding, to really make Jordan feel a certain way about Emma. Because as much as Jordan wants to say he cared about Emma, I think at the end of the day, he's just like, I mean, it was my, like,
but I don't think as much. I think if Jordan adored Emma as a daughter, that doesn't stop all these feelings that he had about Amber and wanting to end things. So I don't even think that would have mattered. Whether he had the strongest bond or not with Emma, he still would have not wanted to be with Amber.
Well, I think it's about the care he gave to Emma after the breakup. Like, does he care enough to like realize he has to take care of this little girl too? Or is he, as he said, I didn't know what to do, so I don't know, I just did nothing. So it's like, I think it's about the bond. He didn't feel that bond enough to make sure that Emma was okay.
Yeah, and him saying when she stormed off stage, man, she's weaponizing it. I don't think that's fair, because it's like, I feel like that is the part she's the most upset with. I feel like Amber could handle a breakup. She's fine with if they had broken up, she would have been fine. She wouldn't have been storming off stage and so mad at him. her anger is coming from how it was all handled with Emma. And to your point, Jordan is immature in that way. And so it is, I hope that Amber saw that it was like an understood risk even going into this, and that being the potential outcome. But I think it's just part of just like hoping for the best, and then reality setting in and it actually happening, having to deal with that.
I guess, yeah, for them, I was like, I wasn't surprised with how this went, just because of everything we saw from Jordan made me think, like, it seems like a really nice guy who isn't ready to be married, doesn't have plans to kind of, fully step up in that way. And this is a woman who seems to have some baggage against men based on how she's been treated in the past. And, was maybe not taking, I don't know, not seeing him at face value with like, he's a nice guy, but he's probably not ready to be married and be a stepfather. Like that's, to me, is like this seemed like the outcome. Unfortunately, it seems like it ended a bit messier than just them understanding that about each other, which is very unfortunate. I will say I was a little surprised that with only one exception of Jess and Chris, like everybody was sitting next to each other at the reunion. Normally they put couples like this a little spread out. The other question I have for y'all is, it almost seemed like Nick and Vanessa were surprised to have heard that they broke up. Did they not know that they weren't still together? Or was that just that for the show?
I didn't think they were surprised. Just by the way they introduced them, I thought they knew.
Like, oh, sorry, are you guys still married? And it's like, no.
Well, I think they have a duty.
Okay.
No, I think they have a duty to ask that for those of us that don't know. In the audience, like, yeah, it's their job to like softball pitch the question so that they can get a definitive answer for the audience. But I think even the way they transition, like, now let's go to our other married couple. So like, I think they know the nitty gritty. They just need to softball it to the audience.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on Amber and Jordan?
No, I think Jordan could be ready to be married, just not at this level. This is like an expert level marriage, and he was not ready for it.
Yeah, he's not married. Ready.
I think he could be ready for. He could be good for a beginner level marriage, where it's someone kind of like him that's still like out in nightlife, out in social life. They can do it together. I think he can be a very loyal husband. I don't think he would cheat on a wife or like demean her or anything. He's a nice guy. He's a loyal guy. So he would be good for someone that's like kind of like him, that's still out in nightlife until they're ready to settle down. But Amber was here to find someone to settle down with. And that was not Jordan. Right. I don't know how she figured that was Jordan. Because none of us thought that was Jordan. I don't know how she thought it was Jordan.
I thought it was hilarious that Amber said, look, I'm gonna get as many digs in as I can. And she's like, look, Jordan's not a Chris. Chris, I hate you. I don't like you, but Jordan is not a Chris. And it was really, and Jordan was like rolling his eyes, but it's like, it's also not like Jordan and Chris are friends, but he's just like,
I think they might be.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, okay. But we did check in on Kia and Tyler because they showed us them so much in the edit, and then there's like not much follow-up because neither one of them cares about Kevin.
Kevin is behind them. Yeah, Kevin's behind them. He's just like,
oh, he was.
He was. He's like had his head down. He's like, please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me.
I didn't see him. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
He didn't even get a word in. It's just
they
just to find out that they're fine.
They so dropped that storyline. Like there's no follow up to that at all. And then just it really became, which rightfully so, it just came about Tyler and Kia like standing up for themselves and standing on business. So I was like, okay, I love that. I'm glad they didn't speak to Kevin because I think he just would have said the same thing he's always saying, like, I just didn't know what to do. I just had a choice and I couldn't make a choice. So I'm glad they gave Kia and Tyler a moment to really like pound the message home. Choose yourself, stand on business, all that.
Talk about a double fumble, right? Like Kevin had two baddies wanting to be with him, and even outside of everything that happens, he couldn't even reel one of them back in. Like, he couldn't even crawl back to one of them, and everybody's like, "Ooh, y'all look so good! Oh my god!" And they're getting all of the opportunities. It's so great. Shout out to Kia for her Howard University reference as well.
Oh yeah,
I thought of you, Mari, when she said that.
Howard University and Now Love Is Blind are all pillars to who's who she is
Who
as a
she is,
person.
yep.
Yeah.
Iconic 3 pillars.
Yes.
Yeah.
we check Gigi checked in on Cameron, and we find out, just like, Lauren is home with the baby, and how has his love for Lauren changed. And he describes how, like, being a dad has changed the way he loves her, and like seeing their son and seeing how his son is just like a mini him, but has Lauren's eyes. It's just a new level of love. But the thing that is most talked about this is how Gigi has her hand on Cameron's shoulder.
I couldn't focus on anything else because it's just like,
get your hand off him.
I thought she was
like,
trying to get the spotlight for herself.
Lauren's like yelling at the TV, get your hand off my husband. Like, Cam, why would you like?
Right, yeah,
she's
they're friends. They've known each other since season 1, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is funny because her is fiance now, right? Blake is right behind them.
Blake from The Bachelor.
Blake from The Bachelor.
I think Gigi would just say she does that to everyone. She's so touchy-feely. She did
That
Zach
doesn't
and
make it
Bliss
okay,
too
Gigi.
at their pregnancy gender announcement. So she does it to everybody, but I might just say, like, just maybe work on that. Like, maybe
she was like, welcome to the club. Like, it was like she really wanted to get in like her life updates in there, because the show doesn't care, because you're not like married to a Love is Blind person.
Yes.
They don't care that you're married to another reality TV star. So she's like, yeah, welcome to the club. And shout out to her for wearing that dress that she's wearing is like a very like TikTok viral bandage dress. Yeah, it is. And she looked really good in it. Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron had some sort of box on his table. I was not sure what it was. I was like, is this a bit they didn't use, like with some sort of
probably
like, weird box he had on his table?
Yeah, it was a box of socks that they were all going to throw into a hamper, probably.
Or they gave him a present. They were like, thank you for coming.
We really appreciate it. We've needed this for so long.
Here are the diamonds that we agreed to give you. To come here.
The loose guy.
So the next couple that we got to get an update on is Bree and Connor. So the last we heard of them, they're breaking up, or not even breaking up. No, they're not breaking up. They're not making it to the altar. Bree is just not her best self, and Connor's like, yeah, we can keep this going. Well, meanwhile, Bree is telling him all the things she doesn't like about him, but they are still together.
Mm-hmm.
This was the shocker of the reunion for me.
Yeah,
I don't remember what we predicted, but I'm glad about this because it feel like it makes more sense now going back and looking at that conversation, where it seemed like a conversation with two people who, I mean, obviously it was, a recreated conversation, but they both seemed way too chill and happy for them to have like hated each other. It definitely feels like the kind of thing where it's like, okay, we got to do this for the camera, but like we're not going to the altar, but we're still good. That's what it felt like. And it definitely feels like, based on everything they were saying, that like they were way more locked in with each other the whole season, and that like besides the party night at the bar, like the Chris stuff was kind of a non-factor. It wasn't like she was really entertaining switching to him or anything. It was more just like she wasn't great at communicating and was kind of chaotic.
I just don't think she got enough heat for Mexico. Like, she was focused on unpacking that with Chris. And she tried to say, like, it wasn't like I looked at Chris and was like, oh, like, no. Actually, that's from, I've watched way too much, like, after content. She did a podcast with Caitlin Bristow, and she said, like, oh, it wasn't like I looked at Chris and was like, oh, I want him in Mexico. And I'm like, but you were really focused on, why is everybody acting like we didn't have these deep connections? Like, I feel like we just skip past that.
Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't listened to all this extra content, but like the thing that I could make sense of that is that the thing we're missing from the edit is her saying, Connor, I love you. I never want to be with anyone else. But oh my gosh, why is everybody acting like we can't talk to the people that we, just had a huge relationship? Like, I feel like there might have been a before or after their conversations that we're missing, to where the only part we're seeing is the I need to talk to Chris and not all the context around it. That's my guess.
But there was also that conversation she had with Chris in Cabo that was just like, "Hey, we're still gonna do this. Like, I don't care if Connor's there. We're still gonna ice plunge. We're still gonna do this. We're gonna do that."
Yeah,
and Chris is trying to like, because in this moment we still think Chris is like a decent guy. He's like, "Well, I don't know about all that. Like, I see you and Connor being like really like belong together." And she's like, "Really? You do?" As in like, I don't see it, but you see it. Okay, great. But I kind of want to call Bria because it seems like that conversation at the bar was her moment of like, ooh, no, this is not anything I want. I think up until that point, for some reason, it was still a question in her mind of like Chris or Connor. But I do think that moment at the bar was her like, oh, this guy's a weirdo. I'm out of here.
So my thought process was when she was in Mexico, she was wondering why Chris wasn't giving her the attention that he gave her at the group meetup. That was all I was thinking. I was like, she just wants that ego boost. She wants that validation. She wants that validation that what her and Chris had were real and that it was hard to get over her. Like, I don't think she was saying it was hard to get over Chris. I think she wanted that attention from Chris. And she did make some missteps in Mexico, like Jason said, like that whole, you really think me and Connor are good together? That's weird. But I think the minute that Chris showed his ass at the group party and was all over her and was like, "You're my physical type," that's when she was like, "Oh, that's what I wanted. Snap out of it. I'm good." I just think she loves that attention, and even when she was in the pod, she liked the attention of the multiple guys, and that's neither here nor there, a fault of hers, but I think that's what she was actually going for. So, and I do agree with Jason. Once he revealed himself, she was like, yeah, like that's not like this isn't cute at all. So, I mean, for Bree and Connor, to me, I was not shocked or surprised at all that they were still together. I thought in their initial breakup, I was so confused. I remember live tweeting that like, "Oh, okay, this is a good conversation. Wait, she's breaking up. Wait, she's breaking up with him. Oh, she broke up with him, but she's sitting here talking to herself, questioning should she have broken up with him." And I'm like, they're not breaking up. Like I really did see that. Like I was like, oh, it looks like it is the stress of the show itself. It was like she just wants to get out of the show itself. And Connor was so committed, and I never felt like she did not reciprocate that to him. I just think she was crumbling under the lights. So I really wasn't shocked that they're still together, and I am happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was in that quote unquote not breakup conversation, but we're not going to the altar conversation where she is kind of like cutting him down a little bit about his, oh, you're not really proud of yourself. You don't have the clothes, you don't have the car that I think you
wouldn't
should
speak
have.
up for me at a restaurant.
Yeah, but I just wonder if like after that she's kind of like realizes like, you know what? I kind of like a guy I can boss around. Like that actually what kind of works for me. So maybe I'll stick with this. Like I just wonder if that was kind of the thought process in her like underconscious of like, actually, like I kind of like being the alpha in the relationship. I don't need the man to be the alpha. I kind of like this.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with everything Mari said. I think that this is just a case of like a relationship, kind of like what Jason just described, where it's like, maybe the dynamic that we see that seems like, ooh, Connor, why are you tolerating that from Brie? Maybe that just works for them. Like maybe maybe he's cool with it, she's cool with it. And I do believe that probably there is some edited out context from some of their conversations. I'm not saying what she's saying is great, but that it's like they might not always be just standalone without like nice things on either end. Is the potential. But yeah, Mari, I agree with you. When they broke up, I was a little surprised because I was like, despite everything, they seem to work. And I think that's what we saw at the reunion, which was like, oh yeah, they do work. They're good with each other. So,
I wish we could have gotten a little more context of like, so what does not your best self mean exactly? Like, what's better about you now than was before?
It's like she recognized that she was like very harsh and mean to him, like a lot of the time, that she needs to work on that. So,
and she did take accountability for the Chris stuff and allowing that to go on for too long and apologizing to Connor and Jessica, which I was glad she acknowledged because that's something that we talked about.
And I will say this reunion as a whole, whether or not everyone watching it believes it or wants more or whatever, a lot of people did take accountability and apologize, at least with their words. Like, I know it wasn't like these giant speeches that definitely cover everything. They're not like good now, but I'm saying like everyone's always like, we just want you to stand up and apologize. And then they do. And people are like, that's not enough. And it's like, at least they gave us that, because there are plenty of time. Not everybody. There's one person who did not take any account. Well, there's at least one person I can think of right now that did not take any accountability. But I feel like with Brie saying that, it's like she didn't need to say that, but she did, and that was great.
I think she did. I think there was an expectation of her to say that. I think a lot of people came into this of like, I'm going to live up to the expectation of what people think I should say, whether I believe it or not, whether I think it or not. I'm gonna say it because that's what I need to say. We'll get to Chris in a bit, but that's kind of like his feel of like, okay, this is what everyone. I think we came into this like, okay, how is Chris gonna handle this? Like, what's he gonna do? I think he did what was expected of him. He did not say anything until spoken to. He apologized, and Brie also was just like, okay, I will say, I entertained it too long. I believed Brie's thing a lot more than anyone else's. So she did take accountability, and I applaud her for that. But again, like you said, Mary, it will never be enough. It will never, because we're always going to be questioning people's real, authentic intentions or thoughts.
I just have to look at Connor and Brie and say, if Connor's good with Brie and feels like they're good together, then I'm sure they've had enough conversations to make everything work out. And, and I just have to trust them on that. I think the thing is with like Brie, like, yes, she entertained a guy for way too long, and it would have been great if in the moment she had either said, hey, this isn't cool, or just walked away. Would have been great if she did either of those things. But like, I feel like it's a lot to tell every person in a public scenario, like, hey, if someone is saying things that are probably not appropriate given your relationship, that you need to like shoot them down and walk away. Like, I think you should. I would hope that I would do that. But until you're faced with that scenario, you don't know how you're going to act in that moment. And for Brie, she's probably thinking, hey, this is a guy that I was friends with, that I entertain dating. That's the point of this pod meetup that we're doing here, is to talk to people. And like, she regrets not walking away, but like, not everyone is going to be as awesome as Amber in that moment and call him out. I wish that she had, but she didn't. And so like, I'm glad that she apologized, and I don't really know what else. Like, I don't think that this is like a horse that people need to keep beating her about. It's like, she didn't act on it. She wasn't encouraging him and like saying, tell me more. What else you do? And she wasn't saying like, oh yeah, F Connor in those scenarios, but she was standing there and listening to him and, I don't know, smiling or whatever.
Yeah, I think that Brie, I still have a little bit more smoke for Brie, but that's not because of her relationship with Connor. It's other things. So, we already talked about Joey and Chris. So let's go ahead and Joey and Sarah and Ben. So let's talk about Chris and Jess. So like you said, Jason, Chris did take accountability and just like kept it short. Watching it back is tough. He's sorry. And we get both perspectives. We get the perspective from Chris that, yeah, it's tough to watch back. It's tough to look back on that, which he definitely could have approached things like Alex. He didn't, which I was glad about. But then you also get Jessica's perspective, where she's like, I think he had a lot of deep insecurities with finances, not being stable, etc., which is what people suspected. And Nick Lachey came into this with like, I'm going to hold Chris's feet to the fire. I am going to try to hold him as accountable as I can. And I appreciated this from Nick.
What did everybody think about Nick's approach? I think a lot of people are like, have differing opinions of like, should a host of these things be kind of impartial? Should they, just ask the straightforward questions, or should they almost act as an audience, stand in for us and say the things that we want to be said and the questions we want to be asked?
The latter.
I
thoroughly enjoy reunions way more when the hosts are representative of the audience.
I don't think that a host should ignore the obvious reaction from audiences. If the audience are having 99 to 100% people feeling one way, I don't want to see him 50-50 and be like, well, Chris, you weren't all bad though, right? Like, you know, you give him the opportunity to speak. It's a reunion show. You do that. Like the one thing I think is sometimes, I'm trying to think of, I feel like Nick's done this before, or maybe it was Vanessa who's done this. Like, you are the host. You do need a certain level of professionalism. Like, I think it would have been weird if Nick and Vanessa just like turned to Chris and were like, you know, you suck, leave, and like yelled at him. It's like, you brought him on this show to like to talk,
Yeah.
like be nice. But I feel like they've done that before with like
Nick
some
did that
people.
to that Blake guy, I think.
Yeah, and like, and don't get me wrong, at the time where it's like, oh, this is great, but at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna be the host and you're gonna be professional, it's like, hold them accountable, ask them pointed questions, call them out if they try to skirt around the question, but this isn't like your time to vent your frustrations at them personally.
Yeah, I think they've always like towed that fine line between being a little too personal and like, because we definitely given Vanessa her.
I was about to say,
yeah, Vanessa has definitely crossed
shade
the line, but she's gone there where it's like, oh, she's personally hurt by this. But I feel like Nick it wasn't like he was personally offended by Chris, but it was like,
I think it kind of was.
No, I didn't feel like he himself was hurt, but it's like he was like, as a man.
As an Ohio man.
We don't do that in Ohio, bro. We don't do that in
Yeah.
Ohio. It's called bro code, bro. We don't do that in Ohio.
Yeah.
We don't do that here. It's like, I don't think we do that anywhere, but okay.
No, Ohio invented bro code. You didn't know?
Like, only in Ohio
Clearly.
can you not get away with it.
Yeah, can I just say, Chris's his fake, like, I'm sorry, I didn't believe a word that came out of his mouth. I thought it was disingenuous because of the whole like, what was he saying? He's like, looking back at what I just could have handled that differently. And it was like and everybody was like waiting for him to go on. And they was like, "Oh, that's it."
Like literally, he was like, "That's it. That's all you got."
He was
I think
pretending to choke up, and then he was
like, the thing is, though, I think what I'll say for Chris, and I want to make it extremely clear. Go listen to every other podcast from the show.
You hear that, everybody?
I hate Chris so much.
Mary loves Chris. Mary loves Chris, everybody.
No. What I'll say is, I don't know what more people could have expected. He could have not shown up. He showed up. He sat. He was quiet. And then when people asked him pointed questions, he gave not great and probably fake apologies and like, you know, said it was hard to watch and like, I'm growing, and like he admitted to himself being wrong and then said stuff. Do I believe it? No. I think that this is about the best that a person can do if they go on a show, make an absolute fool out of themselves, are a trash person, and then have months of the entire audience being like, you're a trash person. Because if he didn't show up, people will be mad that he didn't show up. If he showed up, the only other thing he could have done was leaned full villain and just said, I'm playing a character and I'm going to pretend that the version of me there that probably was real, that I'm going to be that to it, you know, to 900. But like, that's not better. People are still gonna be mad about it. Like that's the only other thing I think he could have done besides just not showing up. Like, I think this is about the best that we were going to get from Chris.
I
he put his mask back on. He put the mask back on.
Yeah.
It's just analyzing. Yeah, it's just analyzing him. Like, yes, you're right, Mary. There's not much he could have done, but analyzing him throughout, like when Amber was giving him the business, he looked like he was holding back so much he wanted to say.
A shell-shocked little kid who realizes he's been called out and that it wasn't the fun villain edit that he either thought he was going to get or hoped he was going to get, or like that people liked it. Like, I think he realizes, oh, no one likes me. I'm the enemy. All I can do is sit here and go, yeah, that was really hard to watch. I'm really sorry. Like, that was like, to me, he wasn't doing, we'll talk about it, what Alex was doing, which was just like, oh yeah, this is cool. That's just who I am. This is what I'm doing. Like, he wasn't doing that. Like, it seemed disingenuous, but it didn't seem like a performance exactly to me. It seemed more just like someone who's been called out and doesn't know what he's supposed to do.
No, I think what I got from Chris was like, he was just kind of stewing. Any moment we weren't talking to him, he was just like kind of stewing in his anger, but he knows that he's not allowed to say what he wants to say. That was the vibe I was getting from Chris. Like, whenever the camera would shoot to him, when someone was either talking about him or talking like about a situation he was in, he was just kind of like that's the vibe I got from him. He was just like sitting back like, I want to say some things, but I'm not allowed to right now.
But it's good that he didn't say them, because I don't think him
I
saying
agree.
anything would have
I
helped.
agree.
I don't think him
It's-
saying anything else would have made it better.
I agree. I'm just analyzing what I thought was his like intention and what I thought was probably maybe his thoughts. And I have no idea. I cannot be in this
Look,
man's head. But that's just my thought.
Best case scenario for Chris. Well, best case scenario for him is that he turns into some of these guys from the last several seasons who've been like the enemies who kind of eventually sort of become funny, and we kind of forget how terrible they were, and that they just like start doing TikToks. But honestly, the real best case scenario for him is that after this, he basically disappears.
Yeah, unless he pulls like a Shane or something, like
right.
Aysha was saying earlier, where he's like rehabilitating himself. We kind of see that
right.
throughout. But I think probably the best thing, like you said, Barry, would be to disappear.
Yeah, because actions will only show if he because we know in this moment he is saying this as a way to keep as much heat off of him as possible, which is like, how can you keep pressing him if this is the stance he's taking? That yes, I acknowledge those things. Yeah, and I love Nick calling out Devontae's nothing box just out of left field. Is that where you were? So yeah, I mean, it's just like moral of the story. He's emotionally immature. He handled this terribly. He even tried to take heat off of Bree by saying like, that's on me. So I don't think anybody's walking away from this saying Chris is forgiven.
No.
But it's just like we got what we got with that, right?
He did what he needed to do. That's like that's the moral of the story here. Like he did not come into this like making excuses or trying to like brush over the behavior, say he was editing. Yeah. He said what needed to be said, and I can at least acknowledge that. But it's just my questioning of like, all right, well, what were you really thinking inside your head? We'll never know,
but we do find out that Jessica is happy now and is in a relationship with Haramal from the pods, who is in the audience on the front row. He tells her, look, I'm going to give you your flowers. And but even before that, I did like that Netflix revealed it with their new like puzzle game, because I actually like that game.
That was so cringy to me. I was like, oh my gosh,
no, I loved it. I was like, yes, promote your stuff.
At least it was, look, if you're going to promote something, promote that, not random sponsors.
So I thought that was a funny way to do it. But the only thing that was like a little odd to me was he did profess his love for her. He did say how he felt, but he made it seem like a proposal was about to happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, is he supposed to propose right now?
Oh.
I also thought that might happen. I was glad it didn't, because I feel like
it was so cute.
It's too much. Don't propose to me, my ex.
And 150 random people from the franchise.
And I thought it was a really great like
Vanessa and Nick would have loved it though.
Oh yeah, they would have ate that up. I thought it was a really great end note for Jess though, for her to like, okay, she has the love that I think she's probably wanted and what she was looking for in this process. So I'm really happy that she got kind of a happy ending there.
She seems very like in love and just like content with him, and they're both doctors, so he doesn't have to be insecure about her being
and it seemed like it was she had sort of, I don't know exactly what happened in the pods, but like they were in the friend zone, or he was in the friend zone, at least for her.
No, they were saying they were in the pods together. He left early, and then afterwards they were in the friend zone. He was like, I was shooting my shot.
Right.
Yeah, I like when you say he regretted like not pressing in the pods and like trying to pursue her, because she wouldn't have had to deal with Chris if he had maybe like pursued her more, and they would have like left the pods together.
But this is great. Look, it's a happy ending. I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
What was his name? I didn't catch it.
Haramal.
Yeah.
So we did get some wrap up for Mike and Emma. Not a lot.
No,
I'm still confused.
It was the only question I really had after
they're not
this.
together. He got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Did they try post wedding to date
that was
at
my
all?
question.
Because it seemed like they went into the wedding, according to him, they went into the wedding with a few days before agreeing to say no, but that they would continue dating. Then she says yes, he says no, and it seems like, and then they didn't continue dating. That was the only thing I was confused about.
Yeah. And I think we even said, like, did the yes mean yes to kids? And he confirmed, like, he was not sure if her yes meant, like, I'm good with kids, not with kids. But then I liked how he pushed back and was like, well, just 2 days ago, you were no on kids, but then you're yes. How do I know you're not going to switch up again, like, soon after?
Right. Yeah, I would assume that, because if I was him and we said we agreed to say no and we would continue things, and then you get up on the altar and you say yes, and you know I'm gonna say no, I'm thinking you are setting me up to look like the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could imagine that going from that definitely just made him be like, you know what? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like he said, he is right about this. You can't go back and forth about kids. I will still stand on this day. If you do not want kids, do not have kids. If you do not want kids, do not have kids. Please, please. That is just not fair to those kids. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to your partner. So I actually think that was mature of him to walk away. I just don't like that they got all the way here. They should not have made it out of the box. They shouldn't have wasted all of our time. And poor Emma just clearly doesn't know what she wants. She's willing to bend on certain things, but then that's just a situation that she shouldn't be in, he shouldn't be in. And how dare me side with a man? Am I siding with a man? I don't know. I'm glad they're not together.
Like they had no business being together. And into the first question about did they even try, I don't think so, based on the math. He says they've been together 7 months.
Yeah.
That would have been very quickly after solidifying things. So I think they just didn't try.
And was the woman he's with, Tara, was she from the Pod Squad or no?
I don't think so.
She was a rando.
Yeah, she's a rando. I just would have appreciated a moment like, so how long did you guys try and stick it out? Like a week, 2 weeks? I would have.
Yeah, at least
was a breakup amicable? Did someone leave the other person? Like, I would have loved to hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we've said this so many times, but it's like the second they're in the pods and she says she's not sure if he wants kids and that's his number one thing, don't be together. But it did feel like, because I know there's been a lot of questions about this, we asked the whole time, like, why does he think she's going to be able to get ready in 3 weeks to be able to have kids? And it seemed like, according to him, he wasn't expecting her to get ready in 3 weeks. He was expecting them to say no and keep dating and see if she could get ready. And then it turned him off by the fact that she was basically like, never mind, I am ready after 3 weeks, which kind of goes against everything the edit showed us, because the edit made us think as the audience, like, oh, he's trying to get her to change her mind in 3 weeks.
I never thought that. I questioned
well, I guess
why.
my thought was, why are you on a show where you need to determine dates or to get married in 3 weeks if you can't do that? And then I guess for him, he was just like, oh, because I wasn't planning on actually getting married. I don't know. Why have they are in that case, they're a confusing one of why we went to the altar with them at all. Like, why didn't they just do what Bree and Connor did?
They want that altar stipend.
I'm asking that about a lot of the couples that went to the altar and said no. Like, why?
Well, I want it to be consistent. I want the stance of the show being you have to make it to the altar and then you can say yes or no, and that's the sequence of the show. Or if you can do whatever you want, then most people should not ever get to the altar. But in that case, we're always only going to get yeses at the altar, and more often than not, only have maybe one per season.
I'm totally fine with you not getting to the altar. Like, I understand that the concept of the show is to get to the altar, but I think they would also say the concept of the show is to say yes to the altar. But I have no issue with you calling it early, especially if you don't see a future at all. You should call it early. I think Bree and Connor were right to call it early. Like, if she is going to be a no, like, why put everybody through this whole rigmarole, whole show of a wedding? So I think you're totally within your rights to call it before the wedding, especially if you see red flags. That, like, I applaud Jess to the utmost degree of seeing like this red flag, this huge red flag, and we're like, oh yeah, hell no, like I don't deserve this. I'm out of here at the first like big red flag. I think that's what most people should do. More people should do it.
Yeah, I mean, another couple who should have called it early is Ashley and Alex. Alex came on the defense. Like, he had an issue from the very first statement with Nick saying, so Alex, your story kept changing. Can you point out the changes? And so I'm like, Nick should have said, let's roll the tape because
He
why
caught
are you
Nick-
not prepared?
He caught Nick off guard. He was like,
Yes.
Austin.
Nick is like, I just read the cards, buddy. Like,
I got somebody in my ear telling me what to say. Like, this wasn't me.
I'm like, what the heck? Why do we not have all of his statements and just exaggerations? I think that's the problem is like he thinks because he states things and you can't pinpoint the exact like, oh, this contradicts with this, then he's not a liar. He's a heavy embellisher. And because he says so much and then he just embellishes, it makes it really hard to just have receipts on hand. They could have prepared something.
mm-hmm.
I think the only
I
my
hate
only
this
gripe,
man. Sorry, I can't. I literally, I can't because it's talking to a brick wall. Like
Yes.
Nick tried kind of like he tried, or maybe it was Vanessa. One of the two of them was like, trying to
Vanessa,
explain
yeah.
to him, like, I think the problem here is that you don't seem genuine and you're not showing any vulnerability. And he's just like, oh, what? You want me to lie and pretend like I'm not confident? And it's like, shut up, Alex. You know what they're saying. You know what they're saying. I honestly don't get, because I can't get into his brain, how he says things and can watch himself back and not see what everyone else sees in him.
But I think that Alex believes a lot of what he's selling. Is he delusional?
Yeah, 100%.
Of
Yeah,
course.
to behave this way, you have
Yes,
to.
he's delusional. I think he believes a lot of what he's spewing. And to be clear, to be absolutely crystal effing clear, to clear up any misconceptions, I can't stand Alex. I hate Alex as well. Alex is a liar. He's a narcissist.
What's the timestamp so I can cut that part out?
Yeah, he's a liar. He's an asshole. He's a narcissist. He does not belong in any sort of real relationship. He's terrible. Let me put that out there because there was a lot of smoke coming my way last week of like, oh, Jason's defending Alex. I never defended Alex. I questioned Ashley and her motives and her reasoning and her timing. That's what I did. I think when we get into these situations where there is an absolute villain on one side, we are not allowed to ever question the other person on the other side. I think that's what happened last week, where people were like, oh my God, he's questioning things about Ashley. He must love Alex. No. I hate Alex. He's terrible. My question was of Ashley. I'm also not an Ashley fan. Okay, I cannot like both people in the couple. All right, just put it out there.
I think it's just thanks for clearing that up, Jason. I did need that clarity because I really thought you were an Alex stan.
Yeah,
you thought he was the greatest soccer player to hit the streets of Love Is Blind. I think it was really interesting that he tried to come out of this making Ashley look bad with like, hey, I'm telling you I like your smile. I'm saying you're generally attractive, but I came in this for a wife and I didn't see one. I didn't find one.
He told on himself. He told on himself that he was totally not with the concept of Love Is Blind. Because he's like, as soon as the doors opened, I knew she wasn't my wife. Like, okay, then you are totally going
through the experiment.
Right, you were totally going against what this experiment is, because you let the physical, and then he's like, well, am I supposed to not just let the physical come into this at all? I was like, kinda, this is what you're here for. This is the point of the show.
That is the point.
He's just so, and you said Chris, or Jason, you said Chris was stewing the whole time. I was watching Alex stew the whole time. Every time somebody said something, he's back there like,
they were back there, two peas in a pod of like, I'm sure they were just like, can you believe this? Like these freaking cucks, man. Like what they're saying, these freaking betas out here. Oh my God. Ugh, gross. Look at Connor over there just sucking up to his woman. Ew.
Which is wild to me because I think that Alex to me seems like the kind of guy, maybe I'm wrong, that wouldn't like Chris because he like just on, height or whatever. No, like I think I don't think that Alex thinks that Chris is, I think Alex thinks Chris wants to be like him.
No, I think they're best buds. I think Alex is like, you're kind of a shrimp.
Well, they're not living together. So
they're not living together. It's like, you're kind of a small guy, but your alpha energy really makes up for it. Like I feel like that's something I would say to Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What's the protein powder, bro?
Right. And like you said, Mary, like I appreciated Vanessa trying to have a human moment with Alex by being like, if you let your guard down, and then he just like on the defense immediately, you want me to pretend not to know? I think she's like, look, I'm just trying to talk to you. I think that was a taste of what Ashley was dealing with for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she did clarify. She woke up at 6 a.m. that morning, had that speech prepared, showed her best friend, and was like, is this good? So we now know she woke up the morning of the wedding ready to give him that speech. She knew she couldn't go after he rejected her. And so she was like, look, I have to drive this car and get my stance out there before he says no and I'm shaken up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what did y'all think about him saying, like, I feel like I acted with like a level of professionalism?
Like, this isn't a job.
Yes,
it's not.
This is
Yeah.
a relationship. What are you talking about? It just showed how unserious he took the whole thing the whole time.
Yeah.
They never should have got to the altar. One of them should have ended it. I reassert that I think if he had said yes to her, she would have said yes. But the fact that she knew he was going to say no, and the fact that she was like, I woke up at 6 a.m. that day and wrote my speech. It's like, oh, after I heard he was a no, I put this plan into action. But I think he should have ended it because he had no interest ever. It should have ended a long time ago.
He was on the Vile Files, and he said, and I did not watch the interview. I watched somebody's cliff notes of the interview, and he said that I did actually see this clip specifically. He said that he intentionally did not groom his beard or wear a jacket or a suit that fit him because he wanted to save that for his real wife.
Ew! Oh my gosh!
I know. He said that was all intentional. The crumbs were on accident, but everything else was intentional.
Yeah, he just gets worse and worse. And he was like telling on himself. He's like, I don't think I lied ever in this thing. And he's like, well, you were asking all these questions. I didn't want to explain, so I just said whatever. It's like,
yeah,
well,
he's like, because if I said this, you're gonna say why?
That's a lie.
Well,
yeah, that's a lie.
Don't say things that require, like, you don't understand what being transparent means. You shouldn't have to say things, and the other person is like, well, why? Like, can you elaborate?
I was gonna present a PowerPoint of his Airbnb at one point. Like, all right, here's the timeline.
The one thing I'll say for Ashley when it comes to like they should have ended things a long time ago is that we saw the whole relationship and we said they should have ended things. If they had ended things earlier, we might not have seen the issues, and then people would be like, well, what happened? Explain to us. Like we don't know what was wrong. Maybe not with him, but like look at Chris and Jessica, for example. He came out of nowhere, changed his behavior, and everyone was like, whoa. If they had managed to somehow break up and end things without that being filmed, that conversation, everyone would be confused right now and be like, well, what happened? What And so I'm kind of glad almost for her sake that nobody's questioning why she and Alex are not together, because we got to see all of what was bad about it. Now, they didn't mean they needed to go all the way to the altar, but I
just think a natural ending point would have been the mixer where all the Austin stuff came up. I think that should have been the natural, like, all right, you're like, you're lying about these timelines. You're lying about how you came to the pods. I don't think we need to continue this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, luckily he gave us enough where they could have ended things after Mexico.
I still would like to know. I still would like to know what she knew about Mexico and what she didn't know about Mexico. Did Brittany, if Brittany's out here talking about girl code and what, did Brittany come to Ashley about what Alex was saying to her in Mexico? I would have liked that question.
I have to assume it was at the very least implied based on her line of questioning.
Like, did you flirt with anybody?
But I don't know how. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny that Alex tried to come out of this saying, I think we ended this on equal footing. No, you can't just make up stuff. We see it. She won.
You came out the loser. She won.
Yeah.
Winner, Ashley. We are declaring it right now.
You
lost, my guy.
Okay?
You lost.
And then I thought it was hilarious that they cut to Micah, like, who do you think Alex's roommate in Arizona is? She's like, probably whatever Airbnb host he's with at the time.
Love that.
I thought that was the perfect dig. But we find out that apparently Alex is living with Devontae in Arizona, which Devontae later disputes and says, well, I have a house in Ohio, so whatever. Brittany and Devontae, okay? We find out after their breakup conversation where we know he drove off into the sunset with no intention of ever talking to her again. 2.5 weeks went by with them not talking. She reaches out to him, says, "Hey, are we still together?" He says, "Look, I do want us to be together, but I have this work trip." Goes on a work trip, comes back, and then ends things. The work trip was not a work trip. It was a girls' trip with the 3 best friends that anybody could have. Bree, Ashley, and Priyanka. What is with this trio and always being the center of like, they should have done something different?
This is my other controversial take. Here's my gut. They're not close with Brittany. Brittany thinks they're close with her. They're not. They were friends with Devontae. I would hope after watching the show, they might change some of those thoughts. It seems like there was some messiness on this trip anyway. But like, my controversial take is that while you definitely should be girls to your friends, you don't need to be friends with every single person ever just because they're a girl, or vice versa, or whatever. I don't know. I don't blame them for going on a trip with their friend. Like, I don't think, and then for not telling his girlfriend, if it's true that they asked him and he said they're broken up and that he thought and that you know, she's chill with this trip. I think that if they took him at his word, if they're friends with him, then like, I'm not going to be super upset with them for like not having told Brittany about it. If they are friends with Brittany, then they should have done that. But my gut is that they're just not actually friends with her. And so that's why they didn't do it.
I don't think the trio is friends with her. I do think Ashley is friends with her.
Then that's on Ashley for sure.
And it felt like, first of all, Devontae, the man with the most personality we've seen, is in that soccer clip ever. How are you friends with Brittany and Priyanka and Ashley? It's like, okay, that
we
may
needed
be
a
thing.
pod diagram, like a pod
Right.
friendship diagram.
He
I think it's
strikes
just, like-
me. He kind of strikes me as this like creepy guy that ingratiates himself with like everyone, like whether they want him to or not. It seemed like he really kind of invited himself on this girls' trip, and they were just like,
Like,
okay,
oh, he's
I
nice.
guess.
And for sure, there
cool.
was some weirdness when they said, you can't stay with us, though. It's a girls' trip. Oh, yeah, if you want to meet up at the concert, that's fine. And then he like tried to stay with them. Like, I think Devontae thinks that he's closer with those girls and maybe is trying to get with at least one of them than yeah, probably.
no.
Then she, wait, what am I trying to say? He probably is trying to, you know, thinks that he's a different level. I think that there's some disconnection here, but also like, we all probably know people who are not like, would not be great significant others, but they still have friends. And so I can see that Devontae has friends in these girls potentially.
I think
so. I get that. Like, it's not like he's Chris or Alex.
But I think
there's different levels of bad when it comes to how you've treated your significant other.
He was horrendous to Brittany, though.
Yes.
Like,
he was a gaslighter to Brittany for sure, and he was not nice to her and stuff. But like, I guess
That's
I'm just
bad.
saying, it's bad, and that's why I say
it's passive aggressive.
I want to make it extremely clear: I'm not on Devontae's side. I'm not even on these girls' side. I am a girl's girl, and would do this. And I am number one. My number one stance. I think I said this before on the podcast: is if you know someone who is in a relationship, it doesn't even matter how close friends you were with before of them, especially if you're if there's any question of, are you into my significant other or whatever, you treat the relationship and the couple first, and you make sure that you're good with both people. And like, I would never do something like this. I'm not going on a trip with one of my friends' significant others. That's not like a thing that's happening, especially if I don't know the whole situation. I would not do this. I am a girl's girl. I'm making this clear. What I am saying is that if all of those girls are not actually friends with Brittany, I can see why they believed their friend Devontae and not her pre-watching the show. After they watch the show, they should not feel that way. And I would hope that they would be 100% on Brittany's side for sure. But I'm just trying to like contextualize this.
Yeah, I kind of think the only reason you don't text Brittany is if you are not even just like not a friend, but kind of like an enemy. Like, if you don't care about this person at all, like, not to be like, girl, Devontae is here. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be best friends to send that text message. You just have to be like not enemies. Like, I think
not enemies.
that's where I come at it, like looking at them sideways of like, okay, like you couldn't shoot a single text or a single call. Like,
yeah, they should have, and that's what I would have done. I probably would have, before going on the trip, been like, hey, you know that Devontae's coming on this trip with us, right? Like, I probably would have at least said that. But I just think,
not even that. Like, hey, girl, you couldn't make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's
You know,
right.
like, but I mean, like, so if we're going with the like, oh, if they're believing their friend Devontae, that it is over, then it's like hey, we were all leave Priyanka out of this, who has like ingratiated herself in this somehow. She's like, I'm part of the pod squad, but I'm gonna be the top pod squatter. With Bree and Ashley also going through this as one of the 7 couples, the least you would do as like a fellow woman in the process, you don't have to be best friends, but be like, hey, Brittany, just heard the news. How are you holding up? Like that it didn't work out. It doesn't even have to, like we said, like it's the pod squad. Everyone's not going to be best friends, but just to not reach out, and even for Connor seemed like this was him finding out Devontae was there, but Connor is so nonchalant that it just was like, oh, well, I thought it was a girls trip, but oh well.
Yeah.
And Bree this is not a problem for us.
This is why I stand by the fact that they were not being good friends to Brittany, because I don't think they are friends with Brittany. At least not Bree, for sure.
I think I have to actively dislike Brittany to not like
and to not say a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just we're not friends. It's just like, I don't like that girl, so I'm not going to.
Right. And it wasn't even the trip. It wasn't even, they could have not even mentioned Austin, but to mention, hey, Devontae, like, hey, we heard the news. Hey, I heard the news. Are you doing okay? Like a simple like check-in. That's not something that they're not, because they're not enemies, and because they all went through this. They're on season 10. And they all were in the same, they did wedding dress fittings together. You know, like it's just odd. It
is odd. What I'm saying was, my controversial take is, I knew that this was going to be the reaction of everyone being mad at those girls. And I think we're missing over the point that we need to be more mad about Devontae doing this.
Oh, I'm still mad about Devontae.
He's the one.
He's the worst.
I can hold both things in my hand. I can hold both.
Yeah, but like Devontae's the one who owed Brittany the truth. These girls owed Brittany the truth if they're friends with her, for sure. Hopefully, even if they're just nice to her. But like, I think that the disconnect is that Brittany is saying, we were close friends. Why were you not saying this to me? And what I'm looking at it going is, well, then you're not close friends. Like, these are bad friends to you. So yeah.
I mean, it's the same way that they didn't stand up for Jess when talking to Chris. Like, I'm glad that Jess called them out for, look, I would have done more to defend the other women here. And Ashley took accountability, apologized, but I think it's becoming a pattern. It's not just like one instance that these 3 women are just like, look, we're gonna do whatever. We all have friends. We don't owe anybody anything, because that was the stance Bree was trying to take. Was like, I didn't know I was supposed to like report something. Can't remember how she phrased it, but it was like something that like wasn't really like loud on the mic.
To be clear, they were like, yeah, we're all friends with Brittany and Priyanka's in the audience like,
I'm not.
Yeah.
What I take away from this is that these 3 girls are friends, like the drama, like the attention of men who are, even if they're not dating them, and are going to entertain that, and that is their priority here. Like, that's what I take away from that. I do not agree with that. I would not do that, but that's what I'm seeing. And I think the other women, hopefully around them, need to not be surprised by that. And they need to understand that that's how they are, and that they're probably not going to be good friends with you if you're not in their group. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing.
To shift the focus to Devontae, or sorry, Devo, as he does not want to
Devontae.
certain parts of his heritage, I think. This man might be a sociopath. Like,
yes.
I just think he does not understand emotion. He does not care about people's feelings, because he is so avoidant that it just gets to a point where it's just like, I also kind of don't care. Like, I don't acknowledge your feelings or emotions, because everyone's saying things and he was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
No, he defends telling her, no, I want to stay in this relationship, because he said, yeah, I said that because I wanted to break up in person. Like
later, much later. Like, so what's the problem? Yeah, I lied to you about the trip to Austin. Okay, whatever. It's like
exactly.
wow.
He even had her dad in the audience asking him questions. Like I was like,
and I'm
man,
like, Dad, are you okay? Because he's like, Devontae, I want to make sure you're okay. I'm like, I understand you want to. I was like, Dad, why are you caping for Devontae so weirdly? Why
I
aren't you
don't
like
think he was caping.
standing up more
No,
for
he
your
tried
daughter
to
than
hold him
for Devontae?
accountable.
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
I'm very disappointed. It gave I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
And
I'd be angry.
He said, "Did you lie to me?" And Devontae's like, "What? About what?
What do you mean?
What part?"
all of it, Devontae. All of it.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe he wasn't like just taking accountability. Like, look, you weren't honest.
This man is never going to take accountability. We watched the whole show with him.
It's just ridiculous. You would think like this actually made you look awful for what we find out. He's in a new relationship. He's engaged and he's going to be a father.
And he lives in Arizona with Alex. Meanwhile, he has a kept woman in Ohio in a house. That's what I got from that. He's like, so you guys live together?
Is his woman in Ohio?
That's what I got from that.
He said no. He said because Vanessa was like, wait, so you live in Arizona, but he's like, well, I have a house in Ohio.
It's like, this is a house where you keep all the women you're going to impregnate. And,
and
his timeline has been so off. There's a woman that says that he dated her for May to December of 2025. And then in interviews, he's trying to say that the woman he's with now, he was with her for 7 months. Then a different interview, he came back and said, oh, it's been a month. Because now the other ex is saying they only broke up in December. So he's trying to make it look like he didn't cheat. So he's like, yeah, we've been together a month.
This guy's
the one who's pregnant.
Yeah, but the reunion was shot 3 weeks ago.
Yeesh. This guy's a deadbeat. This guy is like one of the worst. Low key, one of the worst of the worst.
Honestly, he forgot to break up with that first woman. I think that's what happened.
Because he was still trying to figure out how to break up with Brittany.
Yeah.
Talk about timelines. He's just stringing along all these different women.
This is why he's friends with Alex.
Yes.
How does he keep finding women who want to be with him?
I have no idea.
They haven't watched the show clearly. Like this is.
But he has no personality. I don't understand how he's getting these women to come with him.
Goodness. So yeah. So I mean, yeah.
I wonder if she had to sign a prenup.
By the way, it should be said that clip of Alex and Devontae. Sorry, it was like, okay, like that's not good. If I was Alex, I'd pay them any amount of money not to show that clip because like that did not make you look like you knew anything about soccer. I think I could probably do about
they filmed that and sent that in. Like that
for Devontae to make 5 out of 10 shots, and you're supposed to be this goalkeeper that was supposed to be drafted and play professionally.
The soccer coach, like he was like, literally, Devontae was kicking it one way and Alex dove the other way. I was like, okay, that's interesting. That's weird. Devontae is not a pro soccer player. We want to remind people of that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Alex, that's not a good look for you, my guy.
Yeah. It did seem like Brittany's dad was more shocked about the baby news than Brittany. Because her dad just like dropped his head.
I don't know what. Brittany's dad was like, oh my God, my daughter missed out. She missed no, like you should be happy that she's not.
No, you're reading it wrong.
You're reading it so wrong.
Right. He's so disappointed in him because he's like, this guy, he said, you need to work on what you need to work on. He said, he was like, your shot is over with my daughter. And that's with the impression that Devontae is single and not knowing about the child yet. Like he's so disappointed in him. He's not thinking, oh, I want Brittany with him.
I guess I think less of the relationship than I guess they had, which is like what we saw was when they met one time. He's like, oh, this was going to be my son-in-law, but he's disappointed me so much.
Well, yeah, because Brittany hadn't introduced anybody to her dad. So that was a big deal.
If I was a dad, I'd just be cursing him out from the audience, not caring about his life.
I love Brittany's dad.
Yeah. And so the last update we got was from Zach and Bliss, and it was really sweet. I love them, but Zach's grandma passed away recently, but before she passed, she recorded a video with the gender reveal because Bliss is currently pregnant and they are having a boy.
Yeah.
And so now little Galileo is going to have a brother.
Well, Galileo, welcome your new brother Copernicus. Whatever his name is, kid. Dear God.
I wonder did they have this video and they were like, we'll see like when we want to play it, and if it was like, oh, the reunion would be perfect, or if they had already known and then told them like, oh, hey, we have this.
I think it was genuine. I think they found out in that moment.
I know, but I'm like, so did she record it and then they thought they knew the reunion was going to come up and they would be able to play it there? Or were they just like deciding like, how do we want to actually be revealed?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think probably this came up and they're like, oh, this would be perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that Zach and Bliss are thriving. They're so sweet. Bliss was crying. Vanessa was crying. Everybody was crying.
Yeah. Gigi was crying as she was having her hands all over both of them.
Yeah, she's
rubbing them down.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we ended it with Forrest Black and Joy Williams performing a song and getting pictures of all the married couples.
It was fine. I don't think it's going to be the new Ordinary.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really scored with that one. We didn't know it at the time, but
yeah, that song like just whew.
I mean, this was a song featured in the episodes, I think, like as I can remember.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I was like, oh, I figured it was something like that, but I was like, this doesn't sound familiar to me.
I still can't unsee Alex Warren as one of the Hype House guys from the Netflix show before Ordinary came out. So anyway, any other thoughts about the reunion?
No, I mean, just a general disclaimer for those watching and are listening. Whatever your opinions are our opinions. Who you hate, we hate. Who you like, we like.
And if you're there getting ready to write a comment about how you don't like something I said, I'm just gonna say it was just for content. And whatever your real opinions are, those are mine.
Yeah, we agree with you.
This was just to fill out a podcast. I was just talking. Really, I love all the good people who you love. I hate all the bad people you hate.
Exactly.
I'm a girl's girl. Nothing about this reflects on myself personally. Shout out to Aysha and Jason for the whole season. Shout out to Mari for coming on for this podcast. Shout out to Rachel Lamont for coming on earlier. Everybody loves everybody.
I know.
And if you're gonna leave a comment, the comments are just, this was so great. You guys do such a good job, and thank you for the controversial takes that we know aren't real. Those are just for fun for the podcast.
I think the unfortunate part for y'all is that they've already written and
it's
entered.
It's not too late now.
Take it back.
You can delete it. Delete.
Right, just so you know, everyone here are upstanding people. We all have the right thoughts and opinions, and we're not just saying that to you. This isn't going out to everybody. This is going out just to you, listening or hearing this or watching this. Like, this is just
personally.
You. We agree with you. Everything you're saying and thinking, we agree with you.
Yeah,
I will say this was a great reunion. Thank you for having me on. I've been on a couple of your Love Is Blind reunions. This is probably one of the better ones.
It really was.
I think the universal take was that this was a good reunion.
Yes, they did so much better than last season with Chris Paul coming in randomly. I really appreciate that they decided to focus on the couples, give us good updates, hold people's feet to the fire. I was very, very, very pleased with this reunion.
What's this Love Is Blind's strategy? Let's give you 2 really bad seasons, 2 really bad reunions, and then you'll take anything and just say it was really great.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty much.
Mari, where can people keep up with you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. Where I'm skeeting, bleeding, whatever you call it. But also over on Recap Kickback, me and Chappelle, we talk about whatever we want to. We had dropped the America's Next Top Model roundtable that we had with Haley Strong and Gia Worthy, where we talked about the Netflix America's Next Top Model doc. Coming up on Crime Scene, Asia will be joining me and Sarah to talk about the E's Dirty Rotten Scandals version of the America's Next Top Model debacle. So lots of America's Next Top Model content. You can go to crimescenepod.com. That's crime, SEEN pod.com in order to listen and subscribe. We're a true crime review podcast where we go over a whole bunch of true crime documentaries. We're taking a break from a little bit of crime because Jason was on for our really dark Lucy Letby documentary.
I ruined it?
Not you. No, not you. we that's why we're doing E's Dirty Rotten Scandals series, because they're way more lighthearted. And we get to have guests on like Asia who don't like to do murders. So yeah, definitely go for that crime
I
scene.
like lighthearted things too, Mari. I don't need to just be put on
Absolutely
the
not.
terrible, awful,
Nope.
grimy stuff.
No, we need terrible, awful, crimey people. We need people who will cover that. So thank you, Jason. And that's it for me.
Jason, what you got going on?
Of course, you can find me and Asia talking about a variety of love shows because we got this. We were talking about Married at First Sight over on our Patreon, a Perfect Match Patreon. So come over. We are talking about Married at First Sight. We're talking about the season 10, one of the best seasons of the franchise. So come and join us for that over on Patreon. And we also just started kicking up, due by popular demand from our Facebook group, we have started talking about Age of Attraction on this very network. So the same place you got this, you can get our Age of Attraction coverage. We just did the premiere episode a couple days ago, and episodes 2 through 5 will be in your feed very, very soon after this. So come and check that out as well. You can also find me over on The Good Pod talking. We are rewatching The Good Wife. Me and Marissa Garza, we were rewatching Good Wife and talking Elsbeth. So come on over and join me over there as well.
What about you, Mary?
You can find me here on Rob's podcast talking about Extracted with Chappelle, ending that stop talking. Jason and Mari, they're whispering to each other. They're not.
Go.
We're good.
Yeah.
So just do your plugs. We don't pay attention.
You can find me being a girl's girl everywhere. And you can follow me at Frail Mary if you want to see some theater and running content mostly.
Lovely.
Ignore him at this point.
And in addition to everywhere else that I'm podcasting with Jason and Mari, I also was on the Black Girls Talking TV to talk about this week's episode of Survivor. Also, me and my girlfriend started a podcast called Life by Us, Life BI Us. You can find us on YouTube and anywhere you listen to audio podcasts. We have a new episode every Sunday, so go subscribe, let us know what you think, and enjoy. Thank you so much, Mari, for joining us. Really appreciate it. This was such a fun reunion to talk about. Thank you, Mary and Jason, for a great season. Solid season 10. They did not give us an announcement for season 11, so we'll see what happens. We do know that there have been people cited filming for Boston. So if the trend continues, we'll get a new season in like October.
That's probably for like season 12. Like season 11 is already in the can.
Well, no, not currently. They were like the most recent city, like that was after early last year, was Boston. So we'll see. Thank y'all all for sticking with us this season. We really appreciate all the engagement and all the people watching and enjoying our coverage. And until next season, have a great year. We'll see you at the end of 2026 if you only listen to us on Love is Blind. Otherwise, catch us everywhere else. All right. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.